Good morning and welcome to our March AT Talk. Today we have Josh Schueller from AxioBionics. Joshua is a Vice President of Clinical Services at AxioBionics, He is an experienced physical therapist with more than 20 years in a wide variety of rehabilitation programs for patients with orthopedic and neurological conditions. Josh is a graduate of Grand Valley State University, where he received his Master's of Science in Physical Therapy in 2001. He has extensive experience conducting sales and marketing to physicians, negotiating contracts with workers' compensation organizations, and in implementing budgets. If you need a sketch or a certificate of completion for this talk, please email me. I will put my email address in the chat box. Welcome, Josh. They're all yours.
Thank you, Diane, and welcome everybody to AxioBionics. And we're going to go through a presentation of what is AxioBionics. Many times when we do talks like this or talk to people, the biggest question we receive is, why have we not heard of you before? So, excuse me. So the goal of today is to educate people as to what AxioBionics is, what we can do, and how we can help the community. All right. What is wearable therapy? It's a wearable electrical stimulation system that works with the body to encourage muscle activity, to replace or augment neurological function, and manage pain and spasms. That pain can be chronic or acute pain. It can be from 1 month in duration to 20 to 30 years in duration, as we will see in a little bit here. Little history on wearable therapy. When we get the question is, why have we not heard of you before? We have been around for about 25 years, but Philip, the owner of the company, was kind of a one-man show until recently. He has fitted over 3,000 patients with wearable therapy systems, 10,000 individual garments over those 25 years. And one of his very first patients was Christopher Reeve back in 1995. That was Superman for those of us that are younger. He wore the super suit for about 9 years. His people, after his accident, approached Philip to develop a wearable therapy suit for him. And he, like I said, wore it for about 9 years and had great success with it. There's even YouTube videos out there of him talking about AxioBionics and the success that he had with it. So indications for use: pain management, relaxation of muscle spasms, maintaining or increasing range of motion, prevention of disuse atrophy, increasing local blood circulation, muscle reeducation, and functional electrical stimulation. So the first part we're going to look at today, we'll break this up into several parts, but it's managing the effects of muscle paralysis. Wearable therapy has been successful in treating the physical effects of paralysis from spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury, stroke, cerebral palsy, MS, hemispherectomy, and chronic pain. One of the biggest eye-openers as a physical therapist for me was spinal cord injury, that the amount of pain and spasms people have below their level of injury was really eye-opening to me. So that's been a great benefit for spinal cord injury people. We speak on the spectrum of paralysis here, whether you're complete or incomplete, doesn't matter what level you are, from C1, C2, all the way down to lumbar. You can be a paraplegic, quadriplegic, hemiplegic. We have products, which we'll see here in a second, to help with those conditions. Here's just some diagrams of our different products. As you can see here, we have arm sleeves all the way to hand, for just shoulder, and everywhere in between, from vests to bio shorts to bio belts. Here's an example of different kind of bio shorts we have, which is big in the spinal cord injury community for pain and spasms and muscle atrophy.
Josh,
Yes.
we have a question. Will this work with CP and cervical dystonia?
So we have treated numerous people who have CP. Yes, we've had significant success with it. This is going a little bit ahead, but we can jump right in and answer the question right now. Through each process, we do a thorough evaluation on the person to make sure that they're a candidate for electrical stimulation. Not everybody is a candidate for electrical stimulation. So by doing the evaluation on them, we can kind of determine how successful it's going to be before we go further with that. But yeah, we do have a wide range of people that we've treated with both CP and the dystonia, cervical dystonia, yes. So to answer your question, yes, we have had success. All right. So what makes AxioBionics wearable therapy different than, say, going on Amazon and grabbing a TENS unit with sticky electrodes? As you can see in this picture here, this is what we call our bio sleeve. It is a light neoprene material, so it can be worn in all types of weather. But the electrodes are built right into the garment. So in this instance, this young lady has electrodes on the back of her arm, her triceps, in her shoulder, inside and out, and her forearm. The electrodes are inside the garment, so the caregiver or parents or user does not have to worry about placing it in the right position each time. It's easy to put on and off with the sleeve, the shorts, anything we use. It takes a couple minutes to put on, a couple minutes to take off. But the biggest thing is we have developed a gel-based electrode, so it eliminates those adhesive sticky electrodes. Our gel-based electrode is lasting 5+ years without having to be replaced. And the adhesive electrodes, you get maybe 3 or 4 uses out of them, and then they have to be replaced each time. As you can also see here, there's one wire coming out of a sleeve with 6 electrodes in there. If you were to use adhesive electrodes, you'd have wires and leads everywhere. One of the biggest benefit for our gel-based electrode is it allows usage for multiple hours throughout the day or night. So this sleeve right here, this young lady is wearing it 6 hours throughout the day. So it boosts in-home therapy time, and you don't have to worry about replacing the electrodes with adhesive electrodes. You get maybe 30 to 45 minutes of use out of them, and then you got to shut it off. So common spinal problems in the spinal cord injury and other neurological conditions. And this can be chronic pain for individuals without any diagnosis. You got kyphosis, a lateral shift, and even a scoliotic curve in many people. And the common occurrence with all of this is it leads to chronic pain. So the kyphosis, we've all seen the hunchback position on people of all ages, and that only increases with computer usage, video games, etc. A lot of times people have developed scoliosis, and by stimulating the proper muscles and relaxing the proper muscles, we've had good success with helping with the scoliotic curve. And also for lateral lean, a lot of times it's weakness on one side and spastic muscles on the other. So the benefits of wearable therapy, here is another example of a typical hemiplegic arm, whether it's post-stroke, cerebral palsy, hemispherectomy. The hemiplegic arm is the common presentation is flexed at the elbow, flexed at the wrist, and the hand in more of a fisted position. So by placing the electrodes on the back of the arm here, the triceps and the forearm, we get the triceps, we get the biceps to relax, the wrist flexors to relax. And as you can see, it puts the hand and arm in more of an anatomical position. By allowing it into an anatomical position, it starts to increase the usage of the arm and helps with the atrophy. It also improves circulation and reduces spasms. Many people we talk to talk about having a cold hand or cold feet. And by using our biosleeve or for the upper or lower extremity, it increases the muscle circulation, which allows a regulation of temperature. So here's the problem. Like I mentioned before, the problem is the biceps go in spasms right here, and the triceps, or the back of the arm, lays dormant, becomes atrophied with no voluntary control. By stimulating the triceps with our electrical stimulation, it straightens out the arm and breaks up the spasms in the biceps, which relaxes the arm. And with the arm in a more relaxed position, it encourages use. Also, many people have had the benefits of our biosleeve or our products in coordination with traditional physical and occupational therapy. So, for example, here, an occupational therapist is going to spend 75% of their visit getting this arm to straighten out, getting that hand to relax, getting it into the more natural anatomical position. And then 25% maybe of the therapy session working on function and things like that. Well, the person goes home, whether it's a young child or an adult, and by the time they get home, the hand returns to this position. By utilizing the biosleeve, it relaxes the hand and gets the hand already in a natural position. So when they go to therapy, they can do more work with the therapist. So it's a win-win for everybody. Also, a unique component of our wearable therapy is the amount of time you can wear it. Like I said earlier, we have people wearing it 6 to 8 hours a day or at night, and this increases the amount of contractions that you're getting. The shoulder here gets 2,000, the triceps get 2,000, and the forearm gets 2,000. That's 6,000 contractions a day. You can use this safely every single day. You can bring it with you on vacation. You can bring it with you wherever and have the therapy available all the time. So following up with that, traditional therapy is limited in what it can do based on time, based on insurance coverage. And, maybe you get to go to therapy 1 to 2 times, maybe 3 times a week for a couple hours. If you're lucky throughout the year, and that equates to about 36 hours per year. With the wearable therapy, you're getting 4,000 hours of therapy per year. So that does increase the opportunity for better results. We have a arm clinical study going right now on the hemiplegic arm, whether it's cerebral palsy, hemispherectomy, or post-stroke. And as you can see here by the graphics, it was roughly 27 people in the study, and their reported arm use prior to using the biosleeve was 8%. After 2.7 years, that increased to 43%. So that's a significant increase, and I've done follow-ups since the slide was made with everybody in the study, and the amount of people that are saying now, 2 years after this was collected, that they're at 70% usage of their arm. I had some people upwards of 90 to full usage of their arm. So that was a pretty impressive stat and scenario there. This was also based on average years of traditional therapy, 14 before we got them, and then 2.7 of using the biosleeve. The caveat here, though, also is the usage, 7.2 hours per day. Now, many people will be like, well, I don't want to do therapy for 7 hours a day. with wearing our products, you can go about other activities that you would normally do throughout the day. It's not like you're just sitting there staring at your arm or your shorts or your legs and doing nothing else. You can wear our products and perform other activities. So it's not hindering you throughout the process. So this slide here is a good example of a range of people who we've treated, but also the number of years of therapy before we treated them. So for example, we have Natalie here who has cerebral palsy. She was in therapy for 12 years before she got the BioSleeve, as you saw in the previous slide. Her initial usage was 5%. Within that time frame, she improved by 4 times. David, who we'll see here in a few minutes, was a TBI. He was 9 years, and he got 5 times the usage. Jessica, who was also a TBI, she was 30 years post-injury. And so she still had 20% usage, and she got 2.5 times. And then Jonathan was reported to have 0 usage of his arm, and now he's over 50% after 15 years post-injury. So that goes to show you that you don't have to be a newly injured or diagnosed person. I mean, it's better to get a hold of you when you're newer, but chronic works too. You can see definitely gains with the chronic. Here is David, who we did a case study on. He suffered an auto accident and was a traumatic brain injury. The 10 years prior to AxioBionics, he was limited in his walking. He was unable to work. He complained of cold hands and feet. He had frequent MRSA outbreaks. He was receiving traditional therapy, Botox. He was wearing AFOs, ankle foot orthoses, and taking antispasms meds, pain meds. He has now been using our product for 10 years, and he's able to stand and walk for 5 hours at work. He sells tickets to a local entertainment venue. He has the elimination of cold hand and feet and has had no MRSA outbreaks, I should say. He no longer has to use an ankle brace or AFO, and his usage of his arm went from 5 to 50%. So estimated cost savings, we estimated right around $1 million to the payers and the parents and David. Let's see if we can get this up and running. Here is David walking. This is him walking without our product turned on. And as you can see, his left foot is turned in and he's walking on the outside of his foot. Okay. And this is with it turned on. And you can see that foot completely relaxes. He's hitting it on the heel first and not on the outside of his foot. So here's another case study of Drew. Now, Drew was a C1, C2 spinal cord injury. He was 17 years old when he was first injured, and we got to him, or he got to us, within 6 months of his injury. The photo on the right is Drew about 10 years later. And he went to the University of Michigan right out of high school. He did not go to any traditional therapy right out of his injury because he was too busy graduating from high school, going to college, and living his life. But he also had a lot of caregiver assistance because of his injury. And all he did was use our suit. And you can see 10 years later how much stronger his arms look. I mean, the lack of atrophy in his arms, these biceps have good tone, his arms have good tone, and we can see Oops. As you can see here, the quality of skin, his quadricep or upper leg muscles are very defined. His legs are very defined. In his 10 years post-injury, he has had one hospitalization in those 10 years, and that was a fluke swallowing accident that he kicks himself for all the time, because otherwise he could say he has had no hospitalizations in 10 years, which is pretty amazing for a C1, C2 spinal cord injury to only have one hospitalization. Here's another example of his legs. He also has had, let's go back. He has stopped using the lateral lean protector on his wheelchair because he's able to maintain muscle tone in his trunk to keep himself straight in his wheelchair. Here's an example of his ankle and feet. Now, mind you, being a C1, C2 complete, he does not have any voluntary control of his muscles below his injury. So this is what he wears, this 4 hours a night, every single night while he sleeps. So he's getting his range of motion and fighting the atrophy. Here's Drew standing up, strapped in, but if you took away all, the vent here and the straps and everything, this looks like a healthy, normal individual. And Drew has a YouTube video out that is pretty amazing. He goes through each one of our products, explaining the benefits and how quick it is to put on and how much his experience with our products. So another huge population of people out there is people in chronic or acute pain. And we have developed a pain and muscle spasm alleviation system to help with chronic or acute pain. This is our bio vest. This can be worn, as you can see, it's very breathable, lightweight, and the gray strips right here down the spine are where the electrodes are, and they can be positioned to help with upper back, mid back, or the upper lower back, and it's customized for your pain. So the electrodes are determined through the evaluation, like we talked about earlier, to set it up for your pain levels. Now, this gentleman here, he has gone back to work using our bio vest. And as you can also see, all the wiring and everything is enclosed with one cord to our stimulator down there. In his case, he has, I think, 4 on the left and 4 on the right. And the amount of cords and leads and everything, if he were to do it with the sticky electrodes, he wouldn't be able to function. Here is our bio belt. Our bio belt has been very successful in treating low back pain. And there's 2 different types of the bio belt. There is the bio belt light and the bio belt LSO. And the bio belt light is more for active people, and the LSO is more for the people that need a little bit more support. There's support right in here, and it's a little thicker, as you can see. As a little side story, when I first came on with AxioBionics, I've had chronic low back pain for years, and Philip handed me the BioBelt Light, and he said, use it. And I hadn't been able to golf for about a decade without pain. And I went out there and used it for 9 holes with the BioBelt, so swinging the golf club with activity, and had no pain with it. Went out the next day, golfed 18 holes, had no pain before, during, or after. So now it's been 2 or 3 years, and I use it every single time I go golfing, or if I'm doing yard work or things like that. AxioBionics has developed 2 modular to maximize results. Like I said, the LSO provides support more than anything else, but it also has the advantage of having an abdominal panel to help strengthen your abdominal muscles during that. But both treat spasms, pain control, and they both allow pretty good movement while you're wearing it. The BioBelt is designed and fitted for the individual depending on their abdominal protrusion and their hips. So as you can see here, there's different sizes for flat, a little bit of protrusion, and then our beer belly, as some people would call it, and then also the excess the size of your hips. So it is definitely not one size fits all. It is fitted for the individual. But it's also fitted for the area of pain too. So if your pain is more on the left side than the right side, or if it's a big area or small area or directly across the back, the electrode configuration can be manufactured in and placed in the proper position to address the low back pain. And here's an example of the inside of the BioBelt. You can see here that the electrodes that I was talking about earlier, the gel-based electrodes, are placed inside the garment. So this is the BioBelt. It could be the BioVest, shorts, or sleeves. And they're placed in there, and the gel goes inside this electrode, which allows for usage. I mean, like I said, 6 to 8 hours a day, and we've had people using it more. For spinal cord injury, that we've had people use them at night to treat their pain and spasms, and they don't have to use the product at all during the day because they're treating it at night and they don't have any pain or spasms throughout the day. We have one user, Jessie, who has claimed that she cannot function at all during the day if she does not have her bio shorts for her pain and spasms. Her pain and spasms become so severe that she is bedridden throughout the day, but she's the one that wears them at night, and she's able to function throughout the day and night. She's been quoted as saying that her bio shorts are more important to her than her wheelchair and her daily function. So that's a pretty good plug for us. Here's the example of the abdominal panel for the BioBelt. Very easy to put on. It takes literally 30 seconds to put on. So the BioBelt advantage, it invokes the body's ability to suppress pain and muscle spasms. It's easy to put on. You can be active with it, and you do get pretty fast pain relief when you are wearing the belt. Also, as a side note, with the BioBelt in particular, but I've also heard patients say it about the vest and shorts like Jessie, but in my situation, if I have pain in my back and I wear it for a day, I can go weeks without having to wear it. Even now, I don't think I've worn my belt in a couple months. So it does help long term also. And the intensity can be changed to match your level of pain. So if your pain's a 2 out of 10, you probably don't have the same level of intensity as if it's a 10 out of 10. The biggest thing about all our products is it's non-pharmacological, so no medications, and it's non-invasive with no side effects. So how does it work? Here is an example of the BioBelt, and stimulating the back muscles here and then the abdominal muscles in front for pain and spasm relief and muscle strengthening to the abdominal muscles. We did have a low back pain study that was published recently that looked at the effectiveness of the BioBelt on almost 70 participants in the study. And the average pain at rest was 6.4 out of 10 on the visual analog scale. And wearing the BioBelt, the average was 2.2 out of 10. With activity, that decreased from 8.8 out of 10 to 3.4 out of 10. And over 1/3 of the participants in this study abolished their symptoms with wearing the BioBelt. So that's pretty good success there. So in dealing with pain, this is another example of chronic versus acute or less than chronic pain. Here's John all the way over here to the left, who had 5 years in pain in his neck and back. His pain before we got to him was a 4 to about a 6 out of 10. With our products, he's a 0 out of 10. Where Gary is 13 years in his left leg. So he was left leg only, and his pain was pretty significant, an 8 to a 10 out of 10. And he's able to consistently get it to a 2 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10. We got Jessica, who was only 2 years out with neck, back, and arm pain, 8 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. He got it down to 0 to 3 out of 10.
Josh,
Yes.
so we have a question. Why are some doctors let me start over. Why is some doctors will not tell their patients about this alternative since this equipment has been in use?
So in the physician's defense is they probably don't know about it. And that's, talks like this, and that's our main mission is to educate doctors on this. We've had meetings with certain doctors, but there is a large group of doctors out there, and it's hard to hit them all. More and more doctors are becoming familiar with it and seeing the benefits of it. As a non-traditional treatment for whether it's pain or neurological conditions, it's hard to break into that traditional model of medicine, which is, pharmacological, so antispasm meds, pain meds, Botox, and even physical and occupational therapy has become a traditional model of treatments, where AxioBionics is one of those non-traditionals. I don't want to say alternative, but it is alternative treatments. It is proven safe and effective and convenient, but it's just a matter of getting out there and educating the doctors. As a physical therapist, I would market doctors quite regularly, and if you're not constantly in front of them, reminding them of what you have, they forget and kind of go back to the old ways of doing things. So it's just repetition, and we're working on it. I promise you that. But I would say 99.9% of the doctors that do hear from us, most of the time is from consumers like yourself who contact the doctor. Once they know what it is, they become very interested in it and, very happy with the results that we're getting. Oops, I forgot about Donna here. Don't want to forget about Donna. Donna was 38 years in chronic pain, and it was her neck, back, and arm, and she was an 8 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 constantly every day in pain. With our product, she is consistently a 0 to 3 out of 10. So for her to go 38 years in chronic pain, to be able to achieve that decrease in pain, I mean, it's life-changing for her. And just speaking with her, it's very, very moving to hear her story also. So the steps to our wearable therapy. Like I said before, the first step, which isn't on here, but it should be, anybody that is interested in learning more about our products, we can set up a free phone consultation with myself just to discuss the situation, kind of, educate you on it and talk about whether it's your child, whether it's you, whether it's somebody you know, to see if they're going to be a candidate for the wearable therapy. Like I mentioned earlier, we do not want to sell anything to anybody unless it's going to be beneficial to them. So we always include the physician in all our processes, whether it's the evaluation or the product. We are FDA cleared, so the physician has to sign a prescription for everything we do. So they are always involved in the process, and that's a great way to begin the education process with many of these physicians. If after the phone consultation, you're interested in an evaluation, The evaluation consists of filling out the paperwork, obviously, getting the prescription from the physician, and then what we will do is send out an evaluation kit to you. And if you're local in Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids area, or within a couple hours of that area, either come to our main office in Ann Arbor, or we come to you. If you are outside of the range, whether it's the UP or out of state, we can do everything through Zoom now. So similar to what we're doing right now, we send the evaluation kit to you, set up a Zoom meeting, and we can just place the electrodes where we need to go and see how you respond.
Josh,
Yes.
another question. Does this work like a TENS unit, which provides electrical stimulus?
So our stimulators have a TENS setting on it, which we can use a TENS setting. So it does have those capabilities. The majority of our users use it on what's called NMES, neuromuscular electrical stimulation. So in my experience through my clinical world, is a TENS unit doesn't give you the greatest benefit. So in a TENS unit, you get a very superficial stimulation, and it's almost like a prickly feeling, where the NMES setting is actually a muscle contraction. It's deeper, and it's more of a pleasant sensation, more of a soothing sensation than the TENS unit. So we do have the capabilities, but we find a better success with NMES, but that doesn't mean we never use the TENS setting. If the person, it's like through the evaluation, we determine that they respond better to a TENS setting, we definitely can go to the TENS setting. But like I said, the majority of it is NMES, neuromuscular electrical stimulation. So going back to this, after the evaluation, if you determine that you want to pursue a product, then we end up doing a fitting, getting measurements, and we do clinical follow-ups with everybody for a week, monthly, and then every 3 months, because the last thing we want to have happen is have it not be used because of something minor or that can be fixed in a matter of minutes. So we do follow clinically, and people are encouraged to contact us if there's any concerns, questions, or anything like that. So that's the evaluation process. You do get use of our stimulator for 30 days as part of the evaluation process. So the big question is, does insurance pay for this? So private insurance, it's a case-by-case basis. I tell people the majority of the time it does not get covered, but that doesn't mean it never gets covered. It's kind of the squeaky wheel gets the grease mentality. So, if you want to fight it, we can help you in that process. If it is a self-pay situation, we do put it through the Axio charitable discount, which gives about 30 to 50% off the normal price. We offer financing, so it can become very affordable in a monthly payment. And I do believe the MI-UCP has a assistive technology loan program. But certain things like auto insurance prior to July 1st was really good at it, and now it's a little bit more of a challenge, but still auto insurance, workers' comp, VA, TRICARE are all very good at paying for it. We also have a very good relationship recently we've developed with Michigan Vocational Rehab as far as getting them to fund for our products. If it's a occupation reason, so that is another option. We have good relationships also with like the MS Society to help pay for that with people with MS. So there is funding opportunities out there that we pursue or help pursue. The last thing to discuss today is foot drop or hip drop. Many people, whether it's post-stroke, You saw David earlier, traumatic brain injury, have what's called foot drop. And we have what we call the walk aid, which you saw with David earlier, which can be used to stimulate the muscles to lift that foot up. But if also there is hip or knee weakness, we have developed what's called the triple flex. And you can see here, it's around the waist, down to the knee, and down to the shoe. It can go inside or outside the shoe to help lift that foot up. And it puts the hip, knee, and ankle in a good natural position to allow for ambulation. So we're going to watch her here. This is without the triple flex. And then over here we have with the triple flex on. So longer stride length, there's less of a hip drop, and it lifts that foot right up. And that strap can go inside or outside the shoe, like I mentioned. And then comparing the two side by side, you can see the difference. This has been very successful in the MS population of people. We've had, people say that they can walk farther, they can walk better. And I know I've tried it out before, and it feels almost like a bungee cord system for your leg. It can be for left or right or both legs. So there is, bilateral foot drop. It can be used for that. So a very vital, important resource is our website. There's a lot of great information in it. It's www.AxioBionics.com. As you can see there, AxioBionics.com. You can also contact myself, Josh Schueller, or Philip, who is the owner and president of the company, to ask questions, to get this process started, or however, like I said, we will set up a free phone consultation. On our website, there is a request and evaluation tab, and you just fill out a little bit of information and we'll contact you to set up a phone call. Conversations are great because like with the question earlier is, people just don't know what we have. And by educating everybody on what we have, we've had great success.
Okay, I have two a little more personal questions. One is, let me go back up there. One person is talking about her personal issues that she might like some help with, and she gave me her email. So before, maybe what I'll do is email you her comment and her email, Josh, after the presentation, so that you'll have that to follow up with her. And then the other person says, so if a TENS unit setting didn't work, then your unit might still work, is the other question.
Yes, with the NMES, the neuromuscular electrical stimulation, it is different. Like I said before, it was different than the TENS setting. So yes, if the TENS setting did not work, that does not cancel out all the other electrical stimulation settings out there. And that's part of the reason why we have had good success with the NMES setting, is because of the lack of success people have seen with the TENS.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else have more questions to ask? Okay, there is one. Hold on. Let me go back over there.
Yep.
Oh, the person just answered. Thank you for answering her question.
You're very welcome.
Another person just said they really want you to continue to do education, I think in the physician area, in terms of letting them know more about it so that more people hear about it as a solution, I think.
Yeah, we've had conversations with the University of Michigan, several of the doctors in there, and they are very open, and we're very interested in um, helping us educate their patients also. So yeah, there is, like I said, the majority of physicians and healthcare workers and therapists, once they realize what we do, they're on board. It is just getting things out there, and talks like this goes a long way into educating people on AxioBionics. And the biggest goal is the education part of it, so people know that there is other treatment options. The majority of people we see have already gone through traditional treatments, whether it's therapy, medications, procedures, etc., and they've lost hope. They've lost hope in their recovery. They've lost hope in living a normal or maximizing their potential. And that's one of the biggest things that I, as a physical therapist I've worked in the field for 20 years, and the majority of people we see, quite frankly, have lost hope in the system, lost hope in the treatments, lost hope in the therapy. And we can provide them with a little bit of hope that they can improve their independence, maximize their potential, and decrease their pain. So yeah, it's been a very, very fulfilling career choice for me.
Okay, I see a hand up. I'm waiting to see if there's a question there. And then it doesn't, okay, so nothing's added in. So I think that maybe that it came up and I didn't notice it till now. And the question may have already been asked. So,
Okay.
oh wait, there's something. Oh, this person says they use Botox, but it seems not to work for the long term.
Yeah, so like we have seen hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have had Botox and have had limited or like short-term success, and then it comes back. The nice thing about our products is it's a long-term solution. So our products, we stand by, like I said, the electrodes are lasting 5+ years. The product, if it's taken care of, is lasting 5+ years, and that's only because we don't have data on that past the 5 years on this new material and new advances we've made. So it's a one-time purchase, and that's the great thing about it, is there's no reoccurring costs for years on end. And where Botox is temporary, if you're finding relief day 1 with our products, you're going to find most likely relief day 1000 with our products and beyond. So that is an advantage of AxioBionics also.
Okay, well, thank you very much for sharing all of this with us today. Josh, we appreciate the opportunity to learn more about it, and look forward to folks following up both with you. Like I said, I've got her information. I'll send that through to you, and others who will reach out to you, hopefully, about things they've seen today that they have additional questions for. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for MI-UCP for everything you guys are doing and do, and we look forward to working together soon in the future, hopefully.
Thank you. We also want to ask you, if you're the audience, if you're interested in learning more about AT devices for outdoor recreation, the Michigan Assistive Technology Program has a new outdoor recreation program with products and devices to assist with biking, hunting, camping, gardening, fishing, and bird watching. Very excited about bird watching. Jaleesa Irwin is an outdoor recreation specialist with the Michigan Disability Rights Coalition. She has a passion for the outdoors and enjoys hunting, fishing, camping, and rock hunting. With the MATP, she takes her passions and informs the disability community about assistive technology for outdoor recreation. Laura Hall is the Assistive Technology Program Manager at MDRC. runs a programs advisory council, coordinates their efforts with many organizations, and provides device demonstrations and other services through the program. So we invite everyone in the audience and your friends to join us on April 14th at 10 a.m. as we prepare for spring with very exciting information about how to enjoy the outdoors. Thank you all for today for attending, and please let us know if you have need for information about how to fund AT. Don't forget, we do that. That's what I do. So you're invited to reach out to me to do that through our main office. So thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you. Have a good
All
day.
right. Take care.